what it is. Yeah, I am actually putting the video, get this, with actual time to pre-farm. I mean, as long as she's not phase 1, right? And I think jury's still out on that one. But yeah. Miyabi Pre-farm guide. Dude, the anticipation for her was so big. Like, I think it's been a while since I've seen so much hype over a character that hasn't come out yet. As far as Hoyoverse games go. And quick disclaimer, I really want to make this video as straightforward and simple as possible. So in case you don't know where to obtain some of the materials that we're going to talk about, refer to my Bernice video, link in the description, because it gives a very thorough description about what everything is and where to get it. But if not, the short of it is Scout Outpost for weekly boss materials and disk drives, and the HIA for anything else. And less disclaimer, all calculations for estimated farming time here are based on using both the A rank and the B rank materials that you get, and on using a full 320 daily stamina, and then crafting or dismantling surplus ones into higher or lower ranks depending on what you need. Okay, so now we're gonna go through absolutely every single thing that you need to completely max out your Miyabi on day 1, with the usual hamster cage pass caveat. A little bit on more of that later. First off, leveling. To level your Miyabi from 1 to 60, you're gonna need 300 senior investigator logs, or the equivalent of that in 900,000 XP. You farm those in the HIA, takes you about 4 to 5 days. For ascensions, you're gonna need a total of 800k Dennies, 4 basic anomaly certification seals, 32 advanced anomaly certification seals, and 30 controller certification seals. You find all of those in the HIA with Bertha. The Dennies should take you about 2 days of farming, and an additional 2 days for the seals. You know, just remember to craft and dismantle. To help out newer players, or if you're planning to level your Miyabi to any level that's not max, then I'll be putting on the screen right now the intermediate level of materials needed for, you know, any other ascension. If you are also set on going for her W engine, which probably is most of you guys, then the Wenjin version of seals or components is the exact same amount, but it takes you less time to farm. It's like a day and a half, give or take. You also need 200 Wenjin energy modules, which is their XP materials, or the equivalent of 600k WEXP materials, which is about 3 days of farming. And the last thing is an additional 400k Dennies, which should take you another day and a little bit more. And as we did with characters, here are the intermediate values that you're going to need for any other level cap of the Wenjin. Now, onto agent skills. And as always, I'm going to tell you guys that this is the part where your biggest time sink is, except of course farming for disk drives, because substats can be a nightmare and can take you literally forever. To fully level up all 5 basic agent skills, you're gonna need 2,500,000 Dennies, 25 basic freeze chips, 75 advanced freeze chips, and a whopping 250 specialized freeze chips. And the hated, dreaded hamster cage passes, 5 of them. The Dennies here take you about an additional 7 days of farm, and for all the chips, an average of 10 days. All that is besides the required 5 hamster cage passes. You get 2 of these if you actually pay for the battle pass. If you don't, you only get 1. Fortunately, we also get 1 in-game event every major patch that also awards 1 of these upon, you know, when you're near to completing it. All in all, usually that totals up to like 3 hamster cage passes every 45 days or so. And even then, that's if you're giving them 10 bucks for the extra one in the battle pass. And, you know, that's why we hate it so much. So if you're a new player, man, and you just started the game out because you wanted to see what the hype about this fox girl was all about, then unfortunately, you might not be able to completely 100% max her out because you just don't have the time to get the passes. But really, don't worry about it. Get her to 11, 11, 11, 11, and, you know, that should be completely fine. Also, in that spirit, to help newer players out, here are the intermediate values for every skill check. And because the passes are this huge pain, I'm going to put on screen right now the materials required for reaching skill level 11 with every single basic skill. And just don't stress too much about skills. Get what you can. Make sure you're using the skill suggestion option to know which skill to prioritize. And during her patch, we're going to get some events that will probably give you things like elemental chips to help you out in leveling out those skills in case you aren't able to max her out completely on day 1. So that's fine. Just remember, characters don't need to be completely maxed out and optimized in order to beat the end game mode that is going to be designed for them. They really don't. Don't beat yourself over it. On to core passives. Again, all the levels in the core passives, you're going to need 405k Dennies, 60 normal boss materials, and 9 weekly boss materials. Again, Dennies here are going to take you a day and a little more, and for the boss and the weekly boss materials, Miyabi's case is a little bit special. You see, every other major patch, we usually get a new normal boss and a new weekly boss. Hoyoverse games just do this. And Miyabi's major patch just happens to be one where this is a thing. So if she is going to happen during phase 1, and you absolutely want your Miyabi to be the best that she can be and leveled the most that you can during the first day, then you're gonna have to prepare stamina to spend in advance. Be that either in batteries, which give you 60 stamina each. You can get those from the battle pass and other quests in the game, or in just over excess stamina that is stored up. However, the rate where it's stored up isn't the same rate where you get it, so it's not the best thing to do. Anyways, I can't confirm the actual name of the boss material, but the normal boss material that you're looking to farm looks like this. And from this we can infer that it's, it's the Spear Lightning guy, the new mob that just, got patched into 1.3. He's probably going to become a normal boss in the HIA that you can farm to get this item from. Farming all of these is going to take you about 480 stamina, or 1 day and a half. And if you want all of these on day 1, then you're going to have 480 stamina in excess, or 8 batteries. The weekly boss material looks like this. No idea what this boss is going to be, and honestly, I don't want to spoil anyone. This is just what it looks like. You're going to get it from Ophelia and the Scout Outpost. And considering that in the week that Miyabi comes out, you're going to have 3 free runs, then you're going to need 360 stamina to get all of the weekly boss materials that you need, or 6 batteries. Now keep in mind, you're only going to have to do this on day 1 if she is phase 1. People are kind of saying she is. If she's going to be in phase 2 or 3 weeks later after patch 1.4, then you're going to have ample time to farm this. Another way to save for this in the weekly boss materials is if you're an older player and you have been collecting the relic boxes from your weeklies in Hollow Zero, then you can just save 9 of these boxes and just use them on day 1 to get all the materials that you need for Miyabi. And that is it. That's all the material that you need. Okay, let's talk about early builds, and always take early building of a character with a grain of salt. And the reason why I say that is because the way that we're going to build the character is going off of leaks about her kit, and leaks and information from beta tests are always subject to change. Now, I don't think that it's going to change too much. I really think that they consolidated the way that they want this character to play and work, and the way that they kind of want her to scale off of crit. But to be actually optimal, we're gonna have to wait until she's out. That said, again, really don't think you need to be optimal to be able to beat the end game on day 1 when she's out. This is a casual gacha game, come on. So the first thing that you guys need to know, in case you don't, is that every other major patch alongside with new bosses usually comes with a new set of disk drives. 2 new sets to be exact. And that's why I kind of believe in this leak with, 99.9% accuracy. This comes via Flying Flame, and as expected, we're getting a disk drive set that seems to be 100% designed for Miyabi. The early translation calls it Broken Branch Sword Song. That's probably going to change. And reads as follows. Increase attack by 10% when the 2-piece. When anomaly mastery is greater than 115 points, the wearer's crit damage is increased by 25%. When any team member applies freeze or triggers shatter on an enemy, the wearer's attack is increased by 15% for 15 seconds. And if we go by Miyabi's kit, it seems that she benefits a lot from a crit rate, crit damage substat build. So this is most likely the best in slot 4-piece for her. And if it isn't, I really don't know what the hell the devs are thinking. Like, isn't that the whole point of a new DD set? Now, if you do want to pre-farm, then my suggestion is probably Woodpecker Electro. The straight up 8% crit rate that it gives you, I think, is just too good for anything that is based off of crit damage. And then besides that, you save the golden pity materials and your special tuning calibrators for whenever the new disk drive set comes out, so you have an easier time farming for that main stat piece. And also, again, unfortunately, if she is phase 1, then we gotta prepare and we gotta be wary of saving as much battery as possible for farming DDs. As far as leveling the disk drive set goes, if you're going to level all 6 of them, you need a total of 144 ether plating agents. That's about 1 to 3 days of farming, depending on how many dennies you still need. Now, as far as the engine goes for a build, the best W engine for her is 100% going to be her signature one, especially because right now in the game we have no W engine that is anomaly affiliated that has crit rate or crit damage as a stat buff. And if I'm a betting man, I would say that hers is going to do that. So if you can, save for her W engine. I know it's kind of hard, but it's going to help you out a ton, especially if you want to main her. Just don't spend money on gacha games. It is never worth it. If we are looking for free-to-play options, that is also fine. In case you were lucky to get the Fusion compiler in any of your normal pulls, then it should work just fine because, you know, the attack percent buff that it gives is pretty universal. Never going to be bad to have more attack percent. And you know, the 3 usual suspects for A rank also should work fine. Also, keep in mind that there's a chance that we might get a new free-to-play Anomaly Wenjin that works a little bit better with how Miyabi plays the Anomaly game. So keep that in mind. Unfortunately, there are no leaks for that yet. Whew. And we're done. Now, recap time for all you future Fox Grow enjoyers, Miyabi mains. The absolute complete list of all of the materials that you need is 4,537,000 Dennies, 4 basic anomaly certification seals, 32 advanced anomaly certification seals, 30 controller certification seals, 300 senior investigator logs or the equivalent, 4 basic anomaly components, 32 reinforced anomaly components, 30 specialized anomaly components, 200 W engine energy modules or the equivalent, 25 basic freeze chips, 75 advanced freeze chips, 250 specialized freeze chips, 5 hamster cage passes, 60 normal boss materials, 9 weekly boss materials, and 144 ether plating agents, and the Wenjin of your choice, and 6 disk drives. Now, the expected amount of time that you need to completely pre-farm this, and think about this, this is if you have absolutely 0 of any material, that time, considering a 320 stamina daily run, is 12 days for the full 4.5 million Dennies, 5 days for the XP materials, 2 days for certification seals, 3 days for the Wenjin XP materials, 2 days for Wenjin components, 10 days for all elemental chips, 2 days for normal boss materials, 0 to 2 days for weekly boss materials, depends on what phase she comes out, and 3 days for plating agents, which summed up should take you somewhere around 38 to 42 days. Now, again guys, this is expected because the game is designed around a 45-ish day period. Every major patch takes that long, and every battle pass takes that long. Now, there are leaks saying that the 1.4 patch time might be a little bit different. I personally don't think it will be, but I guess we'll see. And if we do see it, it is going to be a first for ZZZ. And the last caveat is, unfortunately here, I'm not adding the time that you will need to pre-farm 5 hamster cage passes, because if you have 0 of those, then it's going to take you upwards to 60 days to actually get all 5 of them. It's like I said, I don't like these. They heavily hinder your ability to max out characters when they come out. And also, I'm not adding here the time that you need to actually get the right stats on your disk drives. For getting main stats, that should take you about a week, considering you have some tuning things to do. And if you have enough tuning calibrators, then you're just gonna get them on day 1. You know, just don't stress too much about the substats, man. Don't let this ruin your experience, or, you know, don't make this think that your Miyabi isn't good enough on day 1 because you weren't able to get her to like you weren't able to get her like 80 to 100 crit, right? Shoot for getting your Miyabi to skill level 11, full core passives, and at least main stat drives for the left side of disk drives. That to me is a huge day 1 victory already. You can focus on optimizing her later. And that's it, boys. I hope I helped. Thank you so much for watching the video until the end. I really appreciate it. And if you guys like these laid-back guides that I do, or just laid-back videos in general, then considering giving me a like and a subscribe, it really helps the channel out. I'm smaller right now. And feel free to comment below with any questions that you have, or any insights, or any new leaks that you might have that weren't covered in this video. Also, if you want to ask me anything personally, then just join any of my streams. I usually stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Times are in the description. Those days are Gacha related content. I also stream on Saturday and Sunday, but that's variety content. Once again, thank you guys for watching. This has been your boy Ktsu, signing out.